Hello again, welcome to another clanwarstrategies.com video. Today I'm going to show you a tutorial on how I actually execute a mass Hog Rider attack against Town Hall 8 opponent. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how I actually analyze, plan my attack, and I'll show you a video at the end of this tutorial for better understanding. So the reason why I choose to use Hog Rider on this base is because of its design. First thing you can see here is that all its defensive structures are actually behind the wall, and they are actually separated by a compartment of walls. So if you were to use other attacks, it would take time for your P.E.K.K.A or golems to actually break through all the walls. As for the Hog Riders, they're just gonna jump through the walls and aim straight for all the defensive structures. And of course, for this base as well, there are not many empty space within the base. So for this case here, the red spots are the only possible place where the giant bomb, the double giant bombs, and the hidden Teslas are located. So for initially, I would need to know where the exact location of the Tesla towers and double giant bombs are. So if you will want to do a hog attack, I would always prefer to do it on my second attack, or we call it the clean up attack, sorry about that. So which means where my clanmates has failed to get a 3-star from a base, then I will step in now and help them to get a 3-star. So by watching his replay, which is it was a mass dragon attack if I'm not mistaken, I actually find out the location of the Tesla tower, which is over here, here, and here. But unfortunately, air attack doesn't expose the giant bombs, so I still need to do some guessing work. So my best guess is it will be around here, where it might be a row of double or even triple giant bombs, or it might be a giant bomb here. It might also be around the areas highlighted in amber, but it's not quite possible because there isn't any defensive buildings there, and the hogs might not go and step them there. And even though I've considered this green zone as well, but most probably it's not going to be there because there is a barbarian king there, and it's not ideal to actually deploy your hogs there. So once you know that where the most possible double giant bombs or giant bomb location are, you want to find a way to actually trigger them before you deploy your main troops. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my hawk and deploy it at this location, maybe around 7 to 9 of them. So hopefully that they'll go straight in towards the archer tower. In the same time, take out these 3 defensive structures here, the cannon and mortar, and hopefully they'll move towards the center, which is the air defense, and help trigger those giant bombs. Of course, you see here, if you by using by 7 to 9 Hog Riders, you'll be facing a very quite a resistance from the Barbarian King and those defensive structures around. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my Barbarian King and also with some wizards so that they will move in and help to take out the Barbarian King, in the same time distract all the defensive structures around that same area so that my hogs can move in without any resistance. You can also use a heal spell instead of a kill squad to do this job, but I prefer to save it and focusing on healing my main hogs later in the attack. So once you establish a way to eliminate those double giant bombs, now you have to take care of the clan castle troops. It's very important to take them out entirely, otherwise they're going to make your attack a disaster. So what I do is I'm going to deploy a giant here, roll out the clan castle troops, and then pull them towards the side. Here, I choose it to pull them towards the 3 o'clock position near to my kill squad, so in case if my spells don't take them out, my kill squad can still handle them. So I'm going to use around a few archers and 2 barbarians to group them together. Once they are grouped, I'll drop my poison spell to take them out. Now, once the double giant bombs and the clan castle troops are taken care of, it's time to deploy your main troops. I usually prefer to deploy them near where all the point defenses are. In this case, is at around 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock position. So from here, and of course before I actually deploy them, I usually maybe use 1 or 2 hogs to first test, just in case if there's a giant bomb there. So when positive there isn't any giant bomb or this has been triggered, I'll deploy all my hogs together in my clan castle. I bring 5 level 5 hogs. Now once they are in, it's time for you to deploy your heal. The tips about putting a heal spell is, it is best to have your heal spell planned before you even execute the attack, because otherwise it will be too late when you actually decide on where to put your heal spell. Because if they were to hit a giant bomb or double giant bomb, you might not be quick enough to heal them. So from this position, I usually prefer to put it somewhere in places where they have a lot of defensive buildings, concentrated defensive structures actually. Somewhere around here, and then another one around here, then the third one around here. Now the third spell is very important because in case if your first wave of hogs does not clear the double giant bombs or giant bombs, you might want to heal them during this stage. So just be sure to place a spell before your hogs trigger the bombs. So once you have done with your planning, it's time to decide your formation. Usually I will bring around 30 plus minus Hog Riders. You don't want to bring too little of them because there are also spring traps around, so you don't want those spring traps to take out your hogs and make them insufficient to punch through the whole base. You don't want to bring in too many, and then otherwise you won't have enough troops to help do your clearing, or to help you at least achieve 50% in case your hogs are all taken out by double giant bombs. So usually one poison spell, I bring in 6 wizards and a few of my barbarian and archer, and my giant to lure out the clan castle troops. With the addition of poison spell, I don't really carry a lot of archers and wizard nowadays, because poison spell can easily take out the troops. But in case if they have dragons or balloons, then you might want to consider bringing more of these troops to help take care of them. So another thing that I want to highlight is, once you're done with all your heal spells, there's nothing else you can do. So this time you really want to focus on deploying whatever leftover troops or cleanup troops that you have on the side to help take care of all these side buildings. Usually the builder hubs and storages and things like that, because a hog attack is very time critical. So you don't want to end up with a 2-star attack, 99% and so on. So better make sure that you really have all this thing well planned before you execute your attack, so you won't run out of time. Okay, first I started up my attack by deploying a giant at this location. This will trigger the clan castle troops. Pull them towards the side with 1 archer. And then you'll be seeing me grouping them by using 1 or 2 barbarians and archers. You have to make sure you really group them together because you want them to be in the radius of your poison spell. I'll drop in my poison spell now. Once the clan castle troops are out, deploy my barbarian king with a few wizards, and immediately put in the first wave of hogs. Take out the few structures and trigger the double giant bombs and the giant bombs. So I managed to take out them. Now I deploy my main forces. Drop in the first heal spell. Now you realize later that I actually deployed my third heal spell first, because my hogs are moving towards there and there's still another giant bomb around, which is here. Then I drop in my second, supposed to be second heal spell. Now that's it. Once the defensive structures are off, you see, as you notice, I still have a lot of hogs left to help clean up the base. So that's basically it. So if you want to see more hog attacks or 3-star videos, kindly subscribe to our page and leave your comments below, and we'll see you again. Thank you.